Mark from SM Postcards again, the best place to learn about postcard reselling. So today I got a few things to go over in this video. The first is, what cards did people purchase from our store? On eBay, Etsy, and HIP, I'm going to go through those cards, show you the front and back, tell you a little bit about the card, what they paid for it and where it's going to go. And in between that, I have a special topic called puzzle cards. Now there is a little crossover into the puzzle cards and novelty, and I'll get into that with the special topic. I also have another term to go over. Postcard terminology is very important to learn about postcards and to talk. Today's term will be cardstock. What is the paper that postcards are made of, and a little history and some knowledge about that. And instead of a short video today, I've gathered up some viewer comments that I answered that I thought I would share with you. So the first card that sold, and I've sold a few of these Sulocks. It's called a Sulocks, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. I think it's up by Canada, right on the border there. But this is one of the boats that's in the Sulock. Right now it's going through. It's a chrome card, and it just says the Sulocks. It was posted in 1969, and it's got a nice cancel from Lawrence Seaway, 10th anniversary. So that's a different type of cancel. So Lawrence Seaway cancel, that might be something that triggered someone that saw that card as that cancel. And I have a video coming up to talk about the different types of cancels. There was RPO for railroads, TPO for trolleys, RFDs, there was hand cancels. So I'm doing a little research, make sure I cover the different types of cancels. And what a cancel does, it actually shows where it's done, but it also cancels the stamp from being reused. But that's a chrome card. This card is actually sold for $4.45, which was full price, and it's being shipped to St. James City, Florida, to James. Thanks, James. You ever get one of those cards that where you're sitting there listening saying, I don't know if this is going to sell? Every time I think that, it sells. And this is the Old Way Church in Way Mills, Maryland. It's a picture. I'm not for sure if these are bathtubs or I'm not for sure what those are. Pulpit and a reading desk. They're desks. People, I guess, read in there. But they look like bathtubs. But who would think, just a church interior of a church with some bathtubs in there would sell? You never know. You got to put them up, experiment, and do that. This is a chrome card. It's not posted. It was pretty well taken care of. It's got a heavier cardstock on it. This sold for $4.45. It's going to Joseph in Cowpens, South Carolina. Cowpens, South Carolina. So they must have cow pens there. And this card also, I've been using since it started, eBay standard envelope. It's worked well for me so far. And so all the cards I've done, basically, I just had a few here and there that I had to double up and do the old way. But eBay standard envelopes so far has been okay for me. Boats and trains don't sell. I've heard different parts back and forth, saying that trains don't sell. This is a train. This is the Great Smoky Mountains Railways, and it's got the locomotive number on there. And I did put that in the title, so I put in there postcard, Great Smoky Mountains Railway, GP-7, 777, and GP-9 200. Somebody that's in the trains knows about these numbers. So this is a nice picture of the train. It's like a red, white, and blue train. I thought it was 1776 bicentennial train, but when I pulled it, but it's not. It's the Great Smoky Mountain Railway. It's a chrome card, well kept, no issues with the card at all. This sold for $4.45, and it's going to Gary in Cameron, North Carolina. Thanks, Gary. Let me knock out two more cards here, and then I'll get into the special topic of puzzle cards. And what are they? So the next card that's sold is a banner card, and I talked on the last video I did what banner cards are. Banner cards are these types of strips. These were a lot of companies went out and had these made They were mass produced. They would get a picture, they'd throw a banner across and put on there like different sayings. This one says hello there from Santa Barbara in beautiful Southern California, and it usually put a couple pictures in. But these are banners cards. Those are collected by people on there. This was actually posted in 1966, so it's been posted, and it's got the 5-cent stamp on there. I always talk about the cost of the stamp. In one of my videos coming up, I'm going to show you how and why I say that about dating postcards. Very simple way to date postcards. But that's a chrome card. This also sold for $4.45, and it's going to Terry in Lompoc, California. Thanks, Terry. So on this card here that we sold, I can pretty well guess what sold this card. It's of the Fall River Pass Museum, Colorado. I don't think the Fall River Pass Museum sold it. It's the cars. Look at the parking lot. This was posted in 1966. So this card was done in the early 60s, mid 60s. But right there is, I think that's a Woody. What they call a Woody right there. But those cars is probably what sold it. Someone had it, or that, or it could have been in the museum. But I think it's the cars that sold this. So this is a chrome card. It's been posted. This sold for $4. So that was an offer to a buyer that we send all day long, every day, whenever eBay pops it up for 10%, and we send it out. This is going to Daniel in Bartsville, Oklahoma. Thanks, Daniel. Now I'm going to get into the special topic for this video for this week. It's puzzle cards. Puzzle postcards. What are they? So I'm going to put it down here so you can read the definition that I got for the puzzle postcard. These cards can include hidden pictures, jigsaw puzzles, and any card which is a picture to solve. Now there's different types. When I did the research on out there and what I have, one is a jigsaw. It contains an image that has been die cut. And remember what a die cut is. It's anything but a rectangular. So it's got the different edges on like a jigsaw puzzle into that has been die cut into interlocking pieces. So it's basically a puzzle. The first picture puzzle seems to date back to 1760. The next one is a rebus, a hieroglyphic puzzle. A rebus is an image where the placement of a picture within a line of text adds a substitute for the phonetic sound of an entire word. And I have an example of what that is, of a rebus puzzle card. It first became popular in the 18th century in England. It was later used on postcard greetings, especially Valentine's. There was a revival of the use of rebus in advertising during the 1930s. And I'm going to show you what a rebus one is. Then there's Deeks, D-E-E-K-S, postcard puzzles that change from one view to another by simply tilting the card. And I have an example of one of those too. I own one of those. This is sometimes achieved with a small paper tab across the bottom of the postcard. I don't have one of those, but I do have a Deeks puzzle card. Now there is some crossover from novelty puzzle cards, and one of the crossovers is installment cards. One of my videos I did installment cards where there's like a set of 4 cards and you send one at a time, and when they all come together they create a picture. That's a type of puzzle card as well. So it can be a puzzle card or it's an installment card. So there is a crossover between those two terms, and it also falls under the broad category of novelty. So when people talk about puzzle cards, you want to ask them, is it rebus, jigsaw, Deeks, installment? What type of puzzle card is it? Prices for puzzle cards is kind of like the installment cards. I've seen them anywhere from $5 to $75 and above. Now if you just have one piece, that might not be as high, but if you have the whole set and it's in good condition, you can get top dollar for it. But if you only have one piece and you know it's a puzzle set, go ahead and list that because someone's looking for it, or go out and buy the rest of the cards if they're out there. But these are a little higher priced cards, but you can find them on eBay and out there. I haven't seen too many of them in the wild. I have seen some Deek cards in the wild, but I haven't seen any of the real jigsaw puzzles. So the first thing is the rebus, a hieroglyphic puzzle card, where an image where the placement of a picture was in the line of text. So this is a rebus puzzle card. It's birthday greeting to a little girl. So this is an example, birthday greeting to a little girl. Our classmate named. I hope you will have a lovely birthday and a fine big cake. So that's a picture of a cake, and lots of fun with other kids. Much love from your teacher. So this was a card sent from a teacher to a child, and it's a puzzle card because you got the girl, the cake, the kids, and the birthday. So that's a rebus hieroglyphic. So when you see these cards out there, you know, if you get them for a good price, you know you can up the price a little bit on these puzzle cards. And make sure they're called rebus when you put them in the title. It's an unposted card. I would say it's, you know, in the late 1900s. Just by looking at it, there's nothing in the stamp box, so it doesn't really tell you. It doesn't even have the publisher on there, so this is a shot in the dark on that one. Just from the card stock, I know it's by feeling, I know it's an older card on there. But that's the rebus hieroglyphic puzzle card. So the next one is a Deeks puzzle card. These are postcard puzzles that change from one view to another by simply tilting the picture. And I'm not for sure how well you're going to see this with the light and stuff, but there's a gentleman right there that pops into the picture, and then it's just a lady, and then the gentleman pops in. Now it does say puzzle postcard right here, and this is an undivided back card. It was posted in 1907, so this is how far back I go. It's a really stiff card. This is, I can hardly even, it doesn't even bend like a regular postcard. Now at the top here, it says if more than signature is written below, 2-cent stamp is used. I've never seen that before, or I never noticed it, but they wrote more than their signature, so they had to put a 2-cent stamp in there. Let's take a look. That's a 2-cent stamp. So that's kind of weird, but it does, and this, they did put the date on there too. But that's a Deeks puzzle card. There you go. You can see the gentleman popping in and out of the picture. But if you tilt the card, that's what a Deeks puzzle card is. Now, like I said, with puzzle cards, there's crossovers from novelty to installment. So you want to make sure what kind of puzzle card that you're getting. But the prices do go from $5 to $75 is what I saw, and it could go above if you get the whole set. Puzzle card. Who knew? Is Mount Shasta. In my last video, or one of the other videos I did, I said I sell Mount Shasta. Here's another version of Mount Shasta in California. This is a RPPC. RPPC means Real Photo Postcard. In 1903, Kodak came out with a camera that would print out a picture onto postcard paper, and that's when these started. Most RPPCs are one of a kind, but they did mass produce those. You gotta look under a magnifying glass sometimes to see if they're a real photo postcard. If you see little dots on them on there, then that's not an RPPC. It's been printed. But if it's a glossy finish, kind of like this is, and you can see the glimmer on there, and this one also says photo postcard, pretty good chance this is an RPPC. RPPCs can get you a lot of money. You gotta make sure they're right. I talked to an old timer doing postcards, and he says, if you don't know if it's an RPPC, don't put it in there. Let the collector figure it out or ask questions. I've taken that to heart on a lot of things that I sell, not even postcards, but toys. If I'm not for sure, I'll not even guess, because you don't want to guess in your listings in there, but people will ask questions. But this is a photo postcard, and I'll get into RPPCs in a special topic to go over what I was talking about, the little dots on there. I don't do a lot of RPPCs. The market is very saturated, but they are a good seller, and I will, if I find them, I will sell them. But I tend to shy away a little bit from the higher end cards at this time with the store. But this is Mount Shasta unposted card, and if you look at the stamp box also, it says Kodak paper, and that's another key. You can see if it doesn't say photo postcard up there. This sold for $4.45 and it's going to Elizabeth in San Mateo, California. Thanks, Elizabeth. USS Albany. I sold another one of the Navy things. I bought a bunch of these Navy boat ones, and they're just starting to really sell lately. So I think they finally got saturated into the search engine in eBay, or people are looking for them. But this is the USS Albany CG Cruiser. These are a very nice collection of cards that I bought, and it's unposted. This sold for $4.45, and it's going to Al in Sirius, California. But Navy boats, I took a chance, did a little experiment, and got there. I don't know, 50 to 100 of these, but I've sold a good dozen, so I got my money back already on what I paid for these cards and there. But they're just really clear, full chrome cards. So someone maybe was stationed on that boat, or just collect Navy boats. Military sells. You just gotta get them up there. Guess what I sold? Mount Shasta. And I do this all the time. Elizabeth bought another Mount Shasta card. I already packed up the real photo RPPC that she bought in an envelope with a standard envelope label, and I didn't. She bought them in separate orders, and I thought I would catch it, but I didn't catch it. I do it all the time, so I usually cost myself $1 or $2 doing that. You know, I could have saved 50 cents, 51 cents by putting them in one envelope, but this will go separate. Make sure, you know, I don't want to destroy a label, but I do it all the time. So when you have people, if they buy them all at once, they get a volume discount. But if they buy one card and then later on they buy another card, some days I got 3 or 4 cards for the same person, I'll go through and I'll bundle them up and put them in one envelope. But just didn't catch that today. So, but this is Mount Shasta again. Home card, unposted, and this sold for $4, and it's going to Elizabeth in San Mateo, California again. So we just went through 8 cards from the eBay sales that I had. They were all eBay standard envelope labels, very quick to do, one label, you know, print, peel and stick, you know, print, peel and stick. It's very simple, no cut and pasting, whatever. So far so good with that option that eBay has. Now I want to get into postcard terminology term for this video. The easiest way to learn about postcards is read the terminology, understand how people talk about it. Now there is a lot of crossover. What people are saying, like puzzle cards, could be installment cards, could be rebus, could be Deeks, RPPCs, could be Kodak, you know, could not be type things. You want to learn those terms so you have a knowledge when you're going out looking for cards or you're negotiating on stuff. The term that I picked for this video this week is cardstock. I get a lot of emails asking me about the paper quality. Does it help the price of the card? In my eyes, not really. It just, I can pick up a card and I can feel it and kind of guess if it's an older card or a newer card. Like this was a chrome card, so you know it's glossy. You can feel magazine-y kind of on there. The older cards, the linen cards for sure, you can feel. But cardstock, I'll put it down here so you can read it as well. Cardstock is a stiff, heavyweight commercial paper used when durability is needed. Durability, that's the key. These get mailed through the mail. So most of these cards that are used have been mailed and they've made it, and the cards that haven't, unused, will, you know, can be mailed, but it's a stiffer cardstock. So if you try to put a magazine type paper through a machine, it would just bundle up. Well, this is stiffer, so it can go through the machines, people can handle it, and it's more durability. It usually consists of many thinner sheets of paper pressed or pasted together. Each layer is referred to as a ply. As you think of paper towels, 2-ply, or toilet paper, 1-ply, 2-ply. Press board is used in the production of postcards and trade cards. So press board is another term for the cardstock. No set standard of thickness. I've seen cards as thin as, you know, almost magazine thin, and as really thick cards with different layers for the mechanical ones, etc. Often during wartime, when paper may be scarce, some postcards are also just printed on a single sheet of paper, as with newspaper cards. There's a type of postcards called newspaper cards that they put out there, and those are I don't think I'd want to mail a newspaper card. Manufactured without adequate paste or stored in damp conditions, the individual piles can separate from one another, and that's where you get the waviness and the splitting of the ends of the cards, and they're starting to peel. Some thin cards with blank backs are not unprinted up on, but have lost their original backs. So if you see a thicker card and it's just blank, they might have lost that pile that was on the back, and you'll see a little bit of the paste or sometimes on there. But if they're older cards, it just doesn't have anything on there. That might be because it was stored incorrectly and it peeled off, or it could just be made that way. It's your guess. You kind of look at the history of the card, and that's what's neat about there. But cardstock is important, and the way you store your cards. We store all of our cards standing up and down in a protective sleeve. Archiving is a term that I'm going to get into about what people do with the acid and stuff. And I just did in the last video talked about album marks, what it can cause problems with the cardstock. But that's the term, cardstock. Now I'm going to get into the 3 cards that we sold on Etsy. Who would think that this card would would sell for $4.45? 2 little froggies and Grandpappy Froggy. That's what it is. It's a chrome card of 2 frogs. Someone collects frogs or has frogs, and this has like a little RSVP type thing on there. Will I attend or not attend and stuff on there. So it's a kind of a neat card, but the picture on the front is probably what sold it. Someone liked the frogs. It's got the little frog and the big frog. This sold for $4.45, and it's going to Maddie in Santa Barbara. Thanks, Maddie. It's kind of different. It's called the Witch Tree. It's on the 17 Mile Drive in Del Monte, California. So that's the Witch Tree. I'm not for sure. It doesn't say anything about why they call it the Witch Tree, but that's the Witch Tree. Now, since this was a unique card, I haven't seen it before, I did raise the price $1 to $5.45. This was posted in 1910. It is a divided back card. It's got a writing tab on the front a little bit here, so you would think it would be an undivided back, or it has a white border around there, but to me it's a divided back card in 1910, and it has a 1-cent stamp on it. But that's the Witch Tree, and this sold for $4.45. It's going to Jennifer in Troy, Idaho. Thanks, Jennifer. Now I remember listing this card. I'm not for sure if I have another one on eBay or not, but this is the Six Sisters Grave Shrine of Our Lady of La Leche, St. Augustine, Florida. You're going to see a lot of postcards from St. Augustine, Florida. There's just a ton of them out there. But that's the grave site, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 6 headstones in there. So it is the Six Sisters on there. It's a chrome card, and the cardstock on this one is kind of lighter than normal. I can feel the difference on there, but it's a chrome card and unposted. It's going to Lisa in Marshall, Michigan. Thanks, Lisa. I'm going to go through some of the viewer comments. A lot of people have been leaving comments and watching the videos, and I appreciate every one of them. I try to respond to everyone that come in, and I think I got them all. I also get a lot of emails. You can always contact me. It's in the description, but it's contact@shellmarksales.com. It's contact@shellmarksales.com. It's in the description, along with some other links in there to some of the things we've talked about in the videos. If any of the links don't work, let me know. I'll see what I can do to fix that. But the first viewer comment I got, Bill said, "Thank you for continuing the postcard videos. They are instructive and enjoyable." Thanks, Bill. I know you're a regular watcher so far of the videos and comment, and I enjoy doing these videos. It helps me learn more and paying it forward. There wasn't a lot out there when I started doing postcards. I picked in pieces of it and read as much as I could. So I want to help people sell more postcards. And if they can learn from it, be great. But if there's any ideas or anything that you would like me to look at topic wise, I'm always looking for video ideas that people are looking for. I just don't want to get trapped in the same subject all the time. So the next question is, how many postcards can you list per hour after they are scanned? I get this question a lot too. So my reply was, just regular chrome and linen cards, I can list about 35 to 40 an hour. That's just the regular US chrome and linen cards, nothing special, no researching, basically just looking at the card or normal cards. I can do about 35 to 40 an hour. International, you can probably cut that in half. I got to put them in Google Translate and figure out where these places are. They do sell, but they don't sell as much. But Mexico, pre-war stuff, some England stuff. If I see it, Canada I do a lot of, but anything Guam, Caribbean islands, and stuff like that, yes. But some of the other pictures, I might tend to put them in the flea market box for internationals. But 35 to 40 is what I can do per hour. And I usually do all my listing in the morning. I get them out of the way. Right now, for this month, my forecast is I do 50 on eBay and I do 10 on Etsy. Now HIP, any card that I put on eBay automatically gets put over to HIP, so I don't count those into my account because they're just a duplicate what on eBay, but that is a listing on HIP, and if it sells, it tells eBay to take it down. So I don't have to list on HIP, I just put them on eBay. So 50 on eBay and 10 on Etsy is what I'm trying to hit my forecast for this month. Every month I have a little forecast. So the next question I get is kind of the same thing. How many listings do you have? I think in the past video I told you I just reached 20,000. So I brought up my little sheet here. I keep track of all the listings on here. So postcard listings that I have in the store. On eBay, I have 18,247 individual listings. That's not quantity. I probably in the 20,000s with quantity. Some cards I have 50 of. But these are individual listings of 18,247. On Etsy, I just reached 3,700 cards listed on Etsy. Now, you got to watch Etsy. They don't have a store charge. You get charged 20 cents per listing for 4 months. So every 4 months, it rolls over and you get hit with another 20 cents. So if you go out and list 500 cards on Etsy, you're going to get hit with a nice little bill. And then for 4 months and you get hit again. So that's why I do 10 on there. And Etsy is not as, you don't get as much traffic on there, but it is picking up. It is on a nice, very slow slope. Last month was my best month ever on Etsy. So now with HIP postcards, if I put it, like I said, if I put it on eBay, it's on HIP. If I counted that in there, then I would have 18,000 more cards on HIP, but I don't use that as my count. I use it just eBay. So the total between the two, right now I have 21,947 cards listed, individual listings on eBay and Etsy. Now we also have a toy store called Shellmark Sales that I sell action figures and other odd stuff I've had forever. That store I have 1,048 individual listings, not quantity. I have about 15 to 1,600 if you add in the quantity, because I have a lot of multiple listings, 8 of items, 10 of items, 12 items, 4 of items. So I have 1,048, and I also had a toy store like antiques and vintage thing on Etsy. I have 3 items in that store. I closed that store down about a year or so ago. Wasn't paying for itself, but I did keep 3 things in there just to keep the store. So I have 3 there. So I have a total of 1,051 non-postcard listings. So my total listings on all the online sites is 22,998 listings. So that's what we have. The more you get, the more you sell. I have sales every day. When I first started, I would never thought I would reach these types of numbers. You just keep doing the grind and keep going and keep listing on there. I'm pretty selective nowadays on the inventory I get for those stores. I buy a lot of new stuff from a distributor and get those in, but I will go, once the auctions pick up again, I'll probably almost double those figures. But that's with the auctions. I used to get a lot of stuff, but haven't been able to get out lately. So total 22,998 listings between toys and postcards across. Now for the card that sold on HIP, I remember I had 8 on eBay, 3 on Etsy, and 1 on HIP. So HIP is only 5% of my sales, but it is growing. I think HIP is going to take off in the next 3 to 5 years as a niche site. They got HIP postcards, HIP comics, and HIP stamps. And they're starting to sell more stuff on the postcard store. if you got some trade cards and stuff like that. But it's an easy site to do. You can pay by the year. They do have different levels of stores. I have the highest level store there for the number of listings I have. They also send out a newsletter every so often that's customized just to my store, to anybody that's signed up on to the HIP postcard and bought from me or whatever. So that's kind of a neat added thing. I have talked to the people there. They're very knowledgeable, very easy to deal with. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air sometimes working with people like that. So check out HIP postcards. And there's deals out there. A lot of people won't buy on eBay or Etsy. They'll buy them from HIP because HIP's been around. Then there's some other sites out there too. SE View, Delcamp for European, different things I looked at. But these were the three: eBay, Etsy, and HIP is what I'm sticking to with 2021. But the card I sold on HIP, it's a rock. It's Herkimer Diamonds. This is quartz in a Dalmont matrix. So it's a rock. Somebody bought a rock. It never amazed me. A lot of writing on the back. This was posted in 1982 is when this was posted. It looks like 1882, but no way. But that's a rock. It's like a diamond. So someone knows what this is. Someone has knowledge of this. Would you post this card? I do. I'll post anything. Because I tried to guess in the beginning what people were going to buy, and I was always wrong. They bought a rock, they bought a tree, they bought a bush, they bought a flower. It's whatever the people will pay for it. And this person paid $4.45 for a rock. And it's being sent to Nancy in Medford, Oregon. So, Nancy, if you're watching, let me know what's important about this rock, because I'd like to learn. Remember, we have a lot of videos starting to build up in our channel here. We have packing, scanning. I got a whole detailed thing about the eBay standard envelope, going through the whole label and what you should do with that and how to do it. I just did a video a little while ago about the best and worst envelopes. One went out last week for the camera versus scanner. So go back and check, replay them. This is YouTube, so you can move forward, play a little piece, take a rest, go look at things. But take a look at our videos. Hopefully they'll help you. If there's anything you need, let us know. We appreciate you watching, and we hope to catch you on the next one.